Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on a total game changer for technical recruiters, how to actually partner with hiring managers before the search even begins. We're going to unpack the architecture of the perfect job intake meeting, which is exactly how you transform from being just a basic order taker into a true strategic business partner.
Let's kick things off with a giant elephant in the room. You can spend hours scouring GitHub, source literally hundreds of stellar candidates, send over a mountain of resumes, and still totally whiff on filling a technical role. Why does that happen? Well, it's super easy to blame the talent pool, right? But usually we're just falling for the myth of the search bar. The problem, more often than not, isn't the sourcing itself.
So the crucial point here is a fundamental lack of alignment with the hiring manager. If you start typing Boolean strings before you truly understand what the team actually needs and how they evaluate success, your sourcing isn't a strategy. It's just guessing.
All right, here is our playbook for today. First, the alignment problem. Second, defining the business need. Third, must-haves versus nice-to-haves. Fourth, establishing success criteria. Fifth, aligning the hiring process. And finally, the calibration loop.
Section 1. The alignment problem. Moving from a static job description to an actual hiring strategy.
Listen, you have got to leave your intake meeting knowing all of these exact points: what the team actually needs, why the role exists in the first place, what success looks like, which qualifications are non-negotiable, and exactly how candidates will be evaluated. If you leave with blank spaces here, you're literally flying blind.
Moving to Section 2. Defining the business need and zooming out.
This is absolutely the most critical first question you can ask. Seriously, far too often, a recruiter sits down and says, "So what keyword should I search for?" Honestly, that is the worst starting line. The very first question out of your mouth needs to be, why are we hiring this person?
The answer to that why gives you the context, and context dictates value. Are we expanding the engineering team? Building a brand new product from scratch? Scaling an existing system? Or, maybe replacing an employee who just left and took all the tribal knowledge with them? Nailing this context ensures you're targeting someone who will actually create value from day one.
Okay, Section 3, must-haves versus nice-to-haves. Defining the profile.
Now, what's really interesting here is how we balance the search. On one side, your must-haves. These are the absolute non-negotiables genuinely needed to succeed. Core technical skills, specific seniority, critical domain experience. On the other side, the nice-to-haves. These definitely strengthen a profile, sure, but they should never, ever automatically eliminate an otherwise highly qualified candidate.
And you have to guard this boundary fiercely. If a hiring manager labels every single preferred skill as a must-have, the talent pool becomes artificially and unnecessarily tiny. You're going to end up hunting for a unicorn that just doesn't exist, and you'll completely miss out on brilliant engineers who could easily pick up that one missing nice-to-have tool on the job. All right, Section 4, establishing success criteria and looking to the future.
You need to pose this exact question to the hiring manager. What will make this person successful 6 or 12 months after joining? Think about it. Nobody is hired just to possess a static list of skills, right? They're hired to drive outcomes. This question is the key that unlocks your true performance metrics.
So, what do tangible outcomes look like in practice? Well, instead of just knowing Python, success means delivering a major product feature. Instead of generic cloud experience, it's improving system reliability, leading critical projects, or maybe mentoring junior engineers. Pinning down these concrete outcomes gives you a massive edge because you know exactly what the finish line looks like.
Section 5. Aligning the hiring process. Mapping out the logistics.
Knowing how you'll hire is just as important as knowing who. So to build a seamless candidate experience, you've got to lock down this workflow. Step 1, identify your interview stages and your specific interviewers. Step 2, figure out the technical assessment process. And Step 3, map out the decision timeline and the comp range. Getting this ironed out before you send a single LinkedIn message prevents those awful bottlenecks and sets super realistic expectations for everyone.
Finally, Section 6, the calibration loop, continuous improvement.
Let's be real for a second. You probably aren't going to get everything perfect on the very first search, and honestly, that's completely fine. This is where calibration comes into play. It's simply the process of taking the hiring manager's feedback on your early candidate profiles and using it to continuously tweak and improve your search. Here's what that actually sounds like in the real world. You present a few early profiles, and the manager goes, "Well, this candidate is a bit too senior,"
Or, hey, right technical background, but they lack the required domain experience. You take that feedback, adjust your filters, and instantly upgrade the quality of your next batch. It's a living, breathing loop.
Okay, let's pull the whole shebang together. The Recruiter's Alignment Playbook is your roadmap. You absolutely have to understand the business need. Clarify the must-haves versus the nice-to-haves. Define the ideal profile and those 6 to 12-month success criteria. Align strictly on the interview logistics, set firm expectations, and then continuously calibrate. That's the playbook.
Because at the end of the day, the quality of your entire strategy depends on this foundational step. If you take away just one single thing from our explainer today, let it be this. Recruitment starts with alignment, not a search bar.
So I want to leave you with something to chew on as you take this back to your own teams. Based on everything we just unpacked, what do you think is the absolute most important question a recruiter should ask a hiring manager before even thinking about candidate sourcing? Reflect on that, run this playbook, and watch your hiring success rate absolutely soar. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep learning.